Floodwater nearly splashes up to the doors of these mobile homes, forcing people to wade through their own yards.
But I got a car I got to dry out and other stuff over there. My cat went flying out and ended up getting stuck in a tree.
That's how bad floodwaters on Coker Road were this morning.
It's a big mess. We can't get back there. It's pure sand, pure dirt. People are stranded there, and that's where we're hoping the National Guard can help us and reach those people.
Ruiz says the city wasn't ready for the downpour.
The past didn't prepare us for this. Previous administrations focus on other areas of the city instead of infrastructure. You know, we don't have a drainage system, but we have $5 million parks, and that's unacceptable.
Flooding on Coker Road forced some to leave their homes.
I came back from dropping off my kids. The fire department is there, and they will not let me go in.
It kept raining throughout the morning. When it finally stopped, the water left some with road damage and tons of sand to clear out. The owners of this stable tell me that water rushed through here and brought all this mud with it. And to give you an idea of just how much mud came through here, this table is almost completely covered.
My plan is to start cleaning up and actually removing all the sand. To go ahead and drive up here to the ranch.
People living on Coker Road say the water has only gone down a few inches in some areas, but the canal's water level has already gone down a few feet. Stacey Welsh, KFOX 14 News at 9. Neighbors here on Coker Road say they're trying to help each other, and there are still about 6 inches of water around these pecan trees. And the mud here is really thick. My feet are starting to sink into it. And one woman I talked to who lives around here says she still hasn't been able to leave her mobile home. Barbara Cahill says the water around her mobile home has only gone down about an inch an hour.
It was all covered over almost hip deep all the way around my trailer. And now it's gone down quite a bit, but I've still got so much water.
The water is still about a foot high, and we had to get a ride on an ATV just to get up to her mobile home. She says she wants the city to clear the road after yesterday's damage.
After y'all left, that was it. As you can tell, my side's still a mess.
The city says it plans to apply for grants to improve infrastructure and prevent this from happening again. But first, it needs to find exactly what it needs.
We need to see how many pumps we have, how many pump trucks we have to purchase more. You know, we need to see basically what we have first and buy what we need to have.
Ruiz isn't sure when the city will figure this out because he says all available workers are out clearing damage. Socorro didn't get the help it was looking for from the National Guard.
We heard there was a unit. We're not sure if they really came down or not. We know there wasn't anything like we were expecting, like trucks coming in or anything like that. There might have been a unit at the most that came down.
This stable's owner says his next step is filing an insurance claim after about 8 feet of mud washed through.
It should be able to be saved, just a matter of time of cleaning everything up and reinforcing, seeing how the walls are added, they weren't damaged, and just go from there.
Sierra says he has to stay with relatives in the meantime because the flooding also damaged his home nearby. And the city says right now it has about 25 people staying in flood shelters. Reporting live in Socorro, Stacey Welsh, KFOX 14 News at 5. Ignacio Sierra says his friends and family helped him clear tons of dirt out of his ranch on Coker Road.
Oh, basically the first and on the bottom of the ranch, those corrals are not suitable for horses at the moment. So it affects me greatly.
He says he hasn't seen city crews working on flooded roads since a few weeks after the storm hit.
Basically, what bothers me is that we don't have the equipment to move the dirt.
That's why the decision to buy about $300,000 worth of cleanup equipment is on the next city council agenda, including a water vacuum truck and a machine that could make 1,600 sandbags an hour.
We were filling them as we go because we ran out so quick. It's not that we didn't have any prepared.
Rodriguez says by law, the city can't step in to clean up private property. So the sandbags could have helped areas like this. I'm standing on the roof of a house on Kenstrom Court, devastated by flooding about 3 months ago. And when I jump off the roof, it's not a very far drop because all this mud dried up, burying this house. The city says the storm caused about $6 million in damage, but Socorro has only received about $300,000 from the state so far.
The reason being is because they gave us a list of, we didn't have any documentation stating how we take care of our streets. We don't put any maintenance on our streets. All we do is fill potholes.
The council could also approve buying the city's first street sweeper to solve that problem. but the possibility of more money from grants could be months down the line. Reporting from our exclusive East Side Bureau, Stacey Welsh, KFOX 14 News at 9. The floodwater rushed through here and eroded all this land away, causing about a 25-foot cliff to drop off just a few feet away from this trailer on Reed Road, one of the hardest hit areas.
Wow.
UTEP civil engineering professor John Walton surveyed the area with me and says water flowing downstream to Socorro caused these massive cliffs. He says desert land would usually absorb water, but since new streets and homes went up in Horizon City and Sparks over the last few decades, Walton says there's nowhere else for the water to go but through Socorro. He says the water overran this arroyo nearby, forcing the land to crumble.
I have nowhere to go, honey, so I'm trying to get it filled in. I just need help.
Walton tells me this area needs an extensive construction project to build a concrete-lined arroyo that's big enough to hold all the floodwater. He says sand barriers won't prevent future flooding. Reporting live from our exclusive East Side Bureau, Stacey Welsh, KFOX 14 News at 5. Rainwater rushed through an arroyo in this undeveloped land here in Socorro, but it didn't cause any damage this time around. Now that water is coming from upstream, and that means different communities in the area need to come up with a solution to control the water flow.
We're trying our best, but our best will never be good enough for our constituents.
Rodriguez says the city is concerned there aren't enough projects in place to keep homes and streets from flooding. Socorro's mayor took this picture of an arroyo nearly turned into a river a few days ago.
The runoff is there, and that's one of the issues that we will always have.
As KFOX 14 previously reported, water is flowing downstream to Socorro from parts of Horizon City and Sparks. Horizon's mayor says the city requires new neighborhoods to contain all of their stormwater with drains, but it was a different story before Horizon became a city more than 20 years ago.
There's a small portion of it that was built before incorporation that those rules did not apply. And that water is released to the arroyo that does go to the Rio Grande.
El Paso County says it has the same rules in place.
We require new developments to retain 100% of their stormwater. So that's why if you'll go and you'll see many of the developments out here, they'll have a ponding or a retention area.
But the county also has the same problem with older and unregulated development in Sparks.
We have to work collaboratively in terms of planning to make sure that we're all on the same page of where the problem areas are and what are the different solutions that we can implement.
And we would certainly be very cooperative and do whatever we could to assist in any effort.
Pettis says the Army Corps of Engineers is studying the area to possibly plan a drainage system, but with an already tight budget, it's not clear whether the county and communities could foot the bill.
It's millions of dollars. I mean, it's going to take time for grants to be developed for that kind of program. So at any time soon, we're going to have to fend for ourselves.
Now, to put this in perspective, the county says El Paso has an annual budget of about $800 million compared to only about $7 million in Socorro. So while Socorro is working on solutions to control flooding, like a new ponding area, a permanent solution for the area could be years down the line. Reporting live from our exclusive East Side Bureau, Stacey Welsh, KFOX 14 News at 9. Socorro's mayor and city council said they were disappointed with the plan to control flooding city staff members presented at tonight's council meeting because they say it focuses too much on the future.
The water line's there. The tree was up here. The telephone pole was up here. Now it's down.
Karen Statham is one of several Socorro residents who's been waiting for the city to prevent flooding since heavy rain caused this cliff just feet away from her home last September.
But nothing else has been done, And I'm starting to wonder if it's going to happen or not.
Socorro Mayor Jesus Ruiz says the council expected to approve a plan to help, but the plan presented involved high costs to create new drains and construction that could take months.
I think we've done a good job at creating contacts with other entities and learning the trainings and whatnot, and so we can implement that. So we are in a good spot. We're better than before. I just want to make sure that we cover all of our bases.
Ruiz says the city needs to know what will happen immediately if floods come again. But Socorro does have new tools to deal with the problem, including a new vacuum truck that could be here in a few weeks and a new sandbag machine.
Last year we had to borrow it from the county after the flood. This week we'll have the sandbags available before it happens.
But for people like Statham who say they don't have another option.
I'm staying here. I'm not moving. My mom left this to me, and here I am.
The city says it needs a more concrete plan.
Exactly what the prevention will be, what will happen in case it does flood again, and what will be the post effects of it.
Mayor Ruiz says the City Council expects to meet again next week to hear a more specific plan of how the city could control flooding right now. Reporting live from our exclusive Eastside Bureau, Stacey Welsh, KFOX 14 News at 9.